Welcome back to ABCGH Spoilers channel. Today we will learn about the explosive developments unfolding in Port Charles this week, with shocking confrontations and life-altering revelations that will leave fans breathless. The tension between Lucky Spencer and Christina Corinthos is reaching a boiling point as Lucky appears ready to stop protecting her. After visiting Elizabeth Weber in her hospital room and seeing firsthand the consequences of the car accident, Lucky's conscience seems to be weighing heavily on him. "You went too far this time," he'll confront Christina with unmistakable determination. "And you need to pay for it." This moral dilemma presents a fascinating character development for Lucky, who has been covering for Christina despite knowing she was responsible for the brake-cutting incident that injured both Elizabeth and Rick Lansing. The question hanging in the air like a storm cloud is whether Lucky will finally surrender to his ethical compass and report Christina to the authorities, potentially destroying the Corinthos family's fragile stability. Natalia Ramirez is poised to make what promises to be a game-changing admission to Sonny Corinthos. Their complicated relationship has been simmering with unspoken truths, and this confession could potentially reshape Sonny's understanding of recent events in Port Charles. The dynamics between these two characters have been building toward this moment, with Natalia possibly revealing information that could either strengthen their alliance or drive an irreparable wedge between them. Sonny's reaction to this admission will undoubtedly have ripple effects throughout his empire and personal relationships. Ava Jerome continues her relentless pursuit of answers regarding the car accident, turning her investigative focus toward Elizabeth Weber. Known for her tenacity and cunning, Ava's interrogation of Elizabeth signals her growing suspicion that there's more to the accident than meets the eye. If Rick shares his memory of seeing Christina at the crash site with Ava, her already suspicious mind would certainly connect the dots to Christina's involvement. This potential revelation could arm Ava with dangerous leverage against the Corinthos family, setting the stage for explosive confrontations and possible blackmail scenarios that could reshape Port Charles's power dynamics. Willow Corinthos finds herself in an emotionally vulnerable position as spoilers indicate she'll be deeply shaken by upcoming events. The usually composed and resilient Willow rarely displays such vulnerability, suggesting whatever transpires must be truly devastating. Could this be connected to Michael's business dealings, a health concern regarding their child, or perhaps a shocking revelation about a family member? Willow's emotional journey promises to add a poignant layer to the week's dramatic developments, potentially drawing other characters into her orbit as they attempt to support her through this difficult time. Rick Lansing's memory of the accident continues to crystallize, with a vivid detail about Christina at the crash site now clear in his mind. This recovered memory places Rick in a precarious position as he weighs whether to share this potentially incriminating information. If he confides in Alexis Davis, she might dismiss it as a false memory resulting from trauma. However, the real danger lies in what happens if he mentions it to Ava Jerome, whose suspicious nature would immediately recognize the significance of Christina's presence. Rick's decision about what to do with this information could become the linchpin that either preserves or destroys Christina's freedom and reputation. Jack Brennan's unexpected appearance in Anna Devane's office creates immediate tension with his ominous declaration. After briefly relieving Anna's concerns about Valentine Cassadine with assurance that he's fine, Brennan delivers the chilling statement, "Valentine's not the one in trouble. You are." This confrontation suggests Anna may have unwittingly crossed a dangerous line or become entangled in a situation beyond her control. As the former spy and current law enforcement officer, Anna rarely finds herself on the defensive, making this development particularly intriguing. The nature of the trouble Brennan alludes to remains mysterious, but it clearly positions Anna in a vulnerable situation that will test her resourcefulness and resolve. The complicated history between Lulu Spencer and Dante Falconeri erupts into a heated confrontation at the Quartermain stables. Their argument potentially centers around Dante's past relationship with Brooklyn Quartermain, a sensitive topic that has long simmered beneath the surface of their interactions. The explosive question remains whether Lulu will finally reveal the life-altering secret she's been harboring, that Dante and Brooklyn share a son. This revelation would fundamentally transform multiple relationships in Port Charles, affecting not only Dante and Brooklyn but also creating ripple effects throughout the Quartermain and Falconeri families. The stable setting provides a symbolically charged backdrop for this confrontation, representing both the untamed emotions and the family legacy at stake. The week of April 7th promises to deliver seismic shifts across Port Charles as long-held secrets threaten to surface and alliances are tested to their breaking points. From Lucky's moral quandary regarding Christina's accountability to the potentially explosive revelation about Dante and Brooklyn's shared child, the emotional landscape of General Hospital stands on the precipice of transformation. As these storylines intertwine and escalate, viewers can expect powerful performances, shocking twists, and the kind of character-driven drama that has made General Hospital a cornerstone of daytime television for generations. The question isn't whether these revelations will change Port Charles, but rather how profoundly and irreversibly they'll reshape the lives of these beloved characters. Next, we will learn about the intriguing possibility of Blaze's return to Port Charles and what this might mean for her relationship with Christina Corinthos Davis. Potential reunion on the horizon. Will Blaze and Christina reunite? This question lingers in the minds of many fans as rumors circulate about Blaze's possible return. The complex dynamic between these two characters has always captivated audiences, with their separation leaving many storylines unresolved. Blaze might make the decision to reunite with Christina despite the complications. Throughout their relationship, Blaze has demonstrated an ability to provide stability for Christina, often keeping her more grounded during turbulent times. This stabilizing influence could be exactly what Christina needs given her current emotional state. However, reconciliation isn't guaranteed. Blaze might have moved on during her time away, creating a new layer of tension when she encounters Christina again. The possibility of rejection would certainly not sit well with Christina, who appears to be in a vulnerable emotional state. Christina's emotional state. Christina Corinthos Davis has been experiencing significant emotional challenges lately. Her current vulnerability makes the timing of Blaze's potential return particularly impactful. When faced with her ex-girlfriend at the nurses' ball, Christina would likely experience a flood of emotions, shock initially, followed by happiness at seeing a familiar face. The reunion would almost certainly trigger Christina to fall for Blaze all over again, especially after witnessing her captivating performance. This emotional response would likely prompt Christina to express her desire for Blaze to remain in Port Charles and rekindle their relationship. Christina's behavior appears to have changed noticeably during Blaze's absence. These changes would be immediately apparent to Blaze, who knows Christina intimately. The nature of these changes might influence Blaze's decision about whether to resume their relationship or maintain distance. The nurses' ball performance. The nurses' ball represents the perfect backdrop for Blaze's return to Port Charles. As a prestigious charity event that showcases musical talent, it provides an ideal platform for someone of Blaze's caliber. Her previous performances at the ball have been nothing short of riveting, and expectations would be high for another spectacular show. This performance would serve as more than entertainment. It would function as a catalyst for the emotional reconnection between Blaze and Christina. The power of music in Blaze's stage presence would likely reignite feelings that have remained dormant during their separation. A particularly exciting possibility is that Blaze might perform alongside her former singing partner, Harrison Chase. Their musical chemistry has delighted audiences in the past, and a reunion performance would add another layer of excitement to the nurses' ball proceedings. The circumstances of Blaze's departure. The history between Blaze and Christina adds significant weight to any potential reunion. Their separation wasn't due to relationship problems but rather professional opportunity. When Blaze received an exciting offer to go on tour, Christina made the selfless decision to encourage her pursuit of this career advancement, telling her not to decline the opportunity for her sake. This selfless act by Christina demonstrated her genuine care for Blaze's career and happiness, even at the expense of their relationship. The absence of conflict in their separation leaves the door open for reconciliation, as there are no bitter feelings to overcome, only circumstances that pulled them apart. The tour that took Blaze away from Port Charles appears to be concluding, creating the perfect timing for her return. This natural conclusion to her professional commitment removes the primary obstacle that separated the couple initially. Orchestrating the return. Lucy Coe and Natalia Rogers Ramirez, working together at Deception, could easily facilitate Blaze's return to Port Charles. Lucy's involvement with the nurses' ball gives her the perfect reason to reach out to Blaze with an invitation to perform. Given their professional connections, this outreach would feel organic within the storyline. Natalia, as Blaze's mother, would be thrilled at the prospect of her daughter's return. This family connection adds another emotional dimension to Blaze's homecoming, extending the impact beyond just her relationship with Christina. The return might be planned as a surprise, with Blaze potentially asking Natalia to keep her appearance at the nurses' ball a secret. This element of surprise would heighten the dramatic impact of the reunion between Blaze and Christina, creating a powerful moment for viewers. Initial reunion dynamics. The first encounter between Blaze and Christina after their time apart would be charged with emotion. Blaze might express regret over their lack of communication during her absence, while Christina would likely be eager to share her recent experiences and current struggles. Time constraints would add tension to this initial meeting. With Blaze focused on preparing for her performance, the conversation might feel rushed and incomplete, leaving both characters with unresolved feelings and things left unsaid. This brief initial interaction would set the stage for a more significant conversation after the nurses' ball performance, when emotions are running high and both characters have had time to process seeing each other again. Fan expectations. What do you think about these potential developments? The return of Blaze for the nurses' ball seems highly plausible given the character's history with the event and her connections in Port Charles. The question of whether Christina will seek reconciliation seems almost certain given her emotional state and unresolved feelings. The most intriguing question remains whether Blaze and Christina will ultimately reunite. This potential reunion carries significant implications for both characters' storylines moving forward, potentially providing Christina with much-needed emotional support during challenging times. The chemistry between these characters has resonated with viewers in the past, making their potential reunion a storyline worth watching closely as the nurses' ball approaches and the drama in Port Charles continues to unfold. Next, we will learn about the intriguing developments surrounding Willow Corinthos, Drew Kane, and the potential revelation that could change everything between them. Will Willow turn against Drew when she finally sees him for who he really is? ABC General Hospital spoilers indicate that Drew and Willow's romance is destined for trouble. The relationship that has been blossoming between them appears headed for significant obstacles, with a potential breakup looming on the horizon. Fans should stay tuned for updates as this romantic storyline unravels and the aftermath unfolds in dramatic fashion. The threat of exposure might be sufficient to persuade Drew to back down regarding Portia's involvement in this complicated situation. Drew could potentially face career ruin and even incarceration if Portia decides to make her evidence against him public. This precarious position puts Drew in a vulnerable spot, potentially forcing him to reconsider his aggressive tactics against those who stand in his way. As a strategic measure, it would be prudent for Portia to document these confrontations with Drew, providing her with potential leverage. Should Drew dare to execute his threats, Portia would possess the means to bring him down on blackmail charges by releasing any recordings she's made. This evidence could serve as a powerful deterrent, keeping Drew's more sinister tendencies in check while protecting Portia's interests. Drew exhibits particularly hostile behavior during his encounters with Portia recently. When issuing threats to Portia and vowing to destroy her life if she doesn't comply with his demands, Drew becomes downright unpleasant. This stark contrast between his public and private personas reveals the duplicitous nature of his character, showing that beneath the charming exterior lies a calculating individual willing to resort to intimidation to achieve his goals. General Hospital viewers are well aware that Drew presents himself as an admirable, heroic figure when in Willow's presence. However, the audience is privy to a completely different side of Drew when he interacts with those he considers enemies behind closed doors. This dichotomy between his public image and private behavior creates a fascinating character study of a man living a double life, carefully curating how different people perceive him. Nina has formed an alliance with Portia since they share a common objective: bringing about Drew's downfall. Portia might share evidence of Drew at his most despicable and allow Nina to present it to Willow, revealing his authentic nature. This collaboration between two characters who might otherwise have little in common demonstrates how shared adversaries can create unexpected partnerships in the soap opera world. Willow has been anticipating cohabitation with Drew and embarking on a fresh chapter together, but will Nina and Portia's intervention derail these plans? The potential for Willow's dreams to be shattered looms large as these two determined women work to expose Drew's true character. The emotional fallout from such a revelation could dramatically alter Willow's perspective on her relationship and future plans. This is why Nina may be interested in capturing Drew's blackmail threats on record and sharing them with Willow. Nina might hope to demonstrate to Willow that Drew is a cruel, vindictive individual who should not be around Willow and her children. This protective instinct, whether motivated by genuine concern or personal vendetta, drives Nina to take action that could forever change Willow's perception of the man she's growing closer to. If Willow were to hear Drew during one of these moments, it might enlighten her to the warnings others have been providing about him. It would shatter the favorable impression that Drew has so meticulously cultivated with Willow. The potential for this revelation creates tension and anticipation, as viewers wonder whether Willow will continue to be deceived or finally see through Drew's carefully constructed facade. ABC General Hospital spoilers suggest that Willow Corinthos may be shocked by a secret recording of Drew Kane. Will Nina Reeves and Portia Robinson succeed in exposing the congressman's sinister side? The possibility of this explosive revelation sets the stage for dramatic confrontations and emotional turmoil as characters' true natures are brought to light in classic soap opera fashion.